Hello, everyone. It is time for my presentation. I am Jack Baldwin or Alexander. I answer to both. So, why don't we talk about what's going to happen here? I am going to give you this scene. It is the Undiscovered Country's final battle scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in movies. Even though I'm just a Star Trek fan, it's still a really good scene to me, and I felt, why not just share it with you? So, this can be an interesting PowerPoint. I'm going to talk now as past me and to my future self to help out really drive it home. So let's talk about it. First off, did you watch it? Probably not, because I haven't shown it to you yet. So present me is going to do that, and then we'll be right back after a proud word from our sponsors. This message is brought to you in part by Just a Tea Podcast. We spill the tea so you don't have to. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Wow. Just wow. What a scene. Let's unpack it, shall we? Let us start by the tracking shot. I mean, it's a really cool shot. I enjoyed the shot. It showed so much emotion. It showed a lot about how shooting movies back in the day really went down. And, it's like this science fiction thing, but it's still an interesting thing to look at. So it's a medium tracking shot. It shows a lot of emotion, as in Chekhov's face is super nervous and worried. The other commanders and people on the bridge are worried. They're all veterans, though, too, which is crazy, because you wouldn't expect a veteran who's combat hardened and all this stuff to be that worried, but they are, and it just further alongs that emotion in the shot that, wow, we don't know what's going to happen. We know what we have to do, but we don't know what's going to happen. We can't see if anyone's out there trying to kill us or anything. It's space. It's crazy. It's always crazy in space. And it's just really hard for us not to get that sense of tension and nervousness in this shot. And, well, it explodes after this one. Bang, we have our action after a quick revelation of our amazing Shakespeare-talking Klingon. One of my favorite Klingons of all time. And actors of all time. It's amazingly how he did that role. But getting off topic, he has his man order a fire. He shoots, and he presses the big red button. Yep, the classic big red button. He fires it. And I like this shot a lot because he leaves almost 2/3 of it empty. Like, just empty space, and you just have the hand on the right-hand side. And I feel like that puts more emphasis on what's going on. And that's why I like it so much. I think it was a very good creative decision to do. And I thought it was just cool. And as our dear friend would say, let loose the dogs of war and move on to what had happened. What happened? Well, all that nervous buildup and all that tension explodes after a literal explosion. And it's amazing how they captured it. It's the medium shot that captures, Kirk being frantic. He's issuing orders, trying to keep his balance, has horrible posture in that chair. And all of these things combined with his facial expression make the scene drastically different. All that nervousness and worriness is gone. Now it's anxiety and how can I fix this and how can I keep everyone safe? And it's a classic life or death situation, only it's way cooler because it's in space. Spoiler alert incoming. If you have not seen the full movie, this is your warning. This is the spoil. Keeping it close and personal is how I like to call this one. In this scene, there's a lot of close, tight shots. I like it a lot. And if you didn't notice, it bounces back and forth from a planet conference to the space battle. And just so you know, it's an assassination attempt that they're here to stop. Well, what's funny is that this movie started on a exploding planet that led to an assassination. So it's what brought the story here, and it's what's going to end the story now. And I find that to be a really creative, thing. But the emphasis on what they're here to stop is in these close-ups where he's making the weapon, he's setting up, he's getting ready to execute. And it just becomes more clear as the scene continues that they really got to stop this from happening. And the shots do that for me. Now, let's change it up a bit. Let's talk about color and space. Now, space is not just all black and white and stars and all these crazy things. There's color, and it's awesome. So let's rewind a bit before the pew-pew of the space torpedoes and talking about the red emergency flashes. As you can know, they were on red alert, so it's a high alert. Everyone's scared, crazy, and the red light just does everyone a favor by driving that emotion further for me. I mean, red, it clearly depicts how nervous her emotion is, and you can definitely tell her heart rate is going through the roof right now. I mean, trying to keep her cool and stay collected in this lighting is probably going to be a really hard challenge because that red light just kind of pushes how much more serious this situation really is. And why don't we compare the difference? On the left, we have William Shatner, Kirk, and on the right, we have Sulu, or George Takei. And it's interesting to me because I have the same emotion from these two scenes. They're both really serious. They're both kind of anxious. And what I find is that I've seen this scene over 50 times, and I still think because of that red lighting, Kirk's scene is more dramatized than Sulu's, and it just works better for me. Like, Sulu is nervous, and you can't really tell because he's got that straight face going on, but he's nervous, he's anxious, because he literally told his ship to fly apart so he can get there on time and save his buddies. It's crazy. I cannot shake the feeling because of that color that in the Kirk scene. I can't shake the feeling that it's just a better scene all around because of Kirk's red lighting, and Sulu doesn't have that, so I would think it's better on Kirk's side. What about Chang? Why is he lit in green? Well, I had thought about this for a long time, and I kind of thought at first, like, he's the person in control, so you want to have, like, a nice color for it. You don't want to be red if you make the other scene red, so they made him green. And I thought about it in our color theory sense, that green means sickness or nature, but think about it. Chang's sickness is his lust for battle. And that's clear as in the next 10 seconds of the shot, he orders an attack and begins a battle. And it's also a lesser known lighting theory to me is that Chang is about to learn a rough lesson, some foreshadowing, as in he dies. The green light to me at this scene means foreshadowing, and I never noticed that until I just rewatched it a couple days ago before I started doing this, and I was like, oh, that's cool, let's bring it up. More action, it's what we came here for, right? It's always what you come for. A prime example of lighting and color working side by side. The bright light flashing is from these awesome little explosion things they got going on, and orange. And what I find interesting is that orange is supposed to be this happy color, but it's not in this scene. It means death, pretty much. Or, it means bang, boom, everything's exploding, it's bad. So it's the complete opposite meaning in this scene, but I find it really awesome, and it's a great combination with just the bright white flashes. And it's at this moment he knew he messed up. Going back to our shots a little bit, this extreme close-up says it all. He messed up, and now our amazing Shakespeare talking Klingon is done for. And he knows it. And if it's not emphasized in the extreme close-up, it's definitely emphasized in the next shot, where it shows kind of his old bridge crew, and it kind of zooms in on him. And the camera work is what really drives this home, that it's just a sudden realization that it's over. And it's probably my favorite scene of all time. And bang, just like that, it's over. I would like to thank all of you for listening to this amazing presentation. I mean, I thought it was good, but you don't have to feel the same way. I hope that you each have a wonderful day and that you listen to our advertisement at the end. Thanks, guys. And thank you for tuning into this fine presentation brought to you by Just the Tea Podcast. We spill the tea so you don't have to. If you want to see more, check us out on Spotify, Instagram, or YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.